I never knew about an afterlife. I always thought that things just end. Heaven, hell. I guess if you believe in those, they exist. I've only heard about it in passing from others. But here, it is literal nothingness. It feels like my mind is being massaged. What am I even thinking about?
Hmm, you seem promising. I can see why they chose you as a recipient. Odd how they've held out this long.
Truly an interesting prospect indeed. However, you seem dissatisfied with your situation. Don't you wish you could find some sort of solace in a different way?
Solace. Does she know my situation?
Of course I know your situation pretty well, hence the question.
I guess so.
Then I must pose another question. Do you feel like you have achieved your goal of penance?
No, I haven't suffered enough. My heart feels like it hasn't. I haven't atoned for my sins. For the blood I've shed, the lives I've ruined, either in view or in silence, I have not suffered enough for it to be penance.
Even after experiencing death, do you still feel that there is more to be done?
I can't shake it off. New lease on life, and it still lingers. Like a stench that can never go away no matter how much you clean the fabric. It just stays there.
So you seek forgiveness? Someone to pardon your actions? Or rather, condemnation?
I guess. I think I do. There was no one to truly reprimand me, call me out on my misdeeds. The guilt of what I've done was never put to air, so it stewed within me. I've seen how others have expressed their disdain towards me, but the people that mattered to call me out, they said nothing. It was business as usual. In the end, I was an afterthought. A crime of duty that was only a blip on the radar, unworthy of judgment.
You're missing a little, huh? How laughable. Even she said nothing. The one that has been an eternal figure in our lives, who knew of our strife and struggles, refused to condemn me for killing her own children.
Have embraced that condemnation in their stead. How noble of you. Feel free to accept whatever guilt you have endured. It's only fair that you cast the final judgment. It will shape you to the ideal form you have envisioned, one that represents.
My word. I was curious to see where this whole therapy session would go, but I can't exactly let you go that easily. Especially if you're en route to becoming a monster. Sure, blame yourself all you want. But to feel like you need to seek atonement from others, how dramatic can you get? No word needs to be said for you to get the hint. Not everything needs to be a stage play for a drama to unfold. Ironic, coming from me, I know. You simply want to pass the burden off to someone else in hopes you could be absolved in a pitiful state, not knowing that it already has been done. That certain someone has sent you to this world with a clean slate because they knew of your crimes, your guilt, and your likely inability to come to terms with it. They wanted you to build a new life, believing you can move on to become better.
What makes you think that?
Because it takes a fool to believe that there is still redemption in the worst of people. And that woman, that doctor who made her decision, was the biggest fool who still had love for her children. Even if they were as they had died by circumstances out of her control.
So, what I sought was for someone to pity me. What a fool I was.
And that is fine. We have time to set yet another stage.
What stage do you have in mind? One that requires a man who has broken themselves into pieces in their grief.
A grand stage. One of highs and lows. A broken man such as yourself would be a perfect actor to turn the tides of the world you grace.
A grand stage, huh? I like the sound of that. Though, what if I get stage fright?
That is what I am here for. To make it easier for you to do what needs to be done with passion. Even if it is making an utter fool of yourself, you will do so with confidence.
I see. The greatest opportunity to become the biggest fool.
To be a fool is to dare, to challenge, to contest, to go against the grain and rebel against the norms with a smile on your face. To realize just how limitless your potential is, and being unafraid of how you express yourself. Let the clowns say and play to their norms, tooting their horns and making light of their facts based in ignorance and irony. The fools will be the true agents of change.
I see you got some enthusiasm, Mr. Mask.
But allow me to introduce myself with the same enthusiasm. I am Pagalachi, the aspect of mayhem. I shall give you the means to achieve thy endeavors of foolishness and folly. And you shall be my joker, the wild card of change.